Welcome back. For years, the United States had relied on drones for counterterrorism measures, but some question if the cost of so many civilian lives is justified. Joining us now from Stanford, California, is Thomas Henriksen. He's a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution. Tom, can drone attacks be justified when there have been so many civilian deaths in Pakistan, including a lot of children?
I think the attacks can be justified, the drone attacks. There have been some mistakes, but certainly compared to other types of bombing during World War II when carpet bombing was used, or even by manned aircraft, sometimes things go awry. The number of people, innocent people killed, has in fact gone down as the intelligence agency and the U.S. military have worked hard to avoid civilian casualties, but invariably there will be some. But I think if people who are against the drone have to ask themselves what other means can be employed. Does that mean that young men and women will have to be sent into places like Pakistan in raids, which places them in harm's way, or what other methods will replace the drone? The drone has become an accepted anti-terrorism weapon, and I think it has a role to play. Not an exclusive role, but it has a role to play.
But some might argue drone attacks are actually escalating conflicts even more, when you have civilian casualties, creating a powerful tool for terrorists to recruit.
Well, that is a legitimate argument. It has to be dealt with. If drone attacks kill large numbers of civilians, then in fact they will act as a spur, as an incentive to people to join radical movements. That's a legitimate argument, but it has to be dealt with. But on the other hand, many of those people will join anyway. And this, in fact, the use of the drone allows the United States to enter sovereign areas in a way that it could not do before. So it erases or it reduces the advantage that terrorist groups have by using safe havens in countries that are not at war with the United States. For example, Pakistan. It allows the United States to effectively deal with those terrorist bases in a way that has not been able to do in the past. So I think on balance, it is an effective tool, but it can't be overused because it could destabilize the region or destabilize a country, as it nearly did in Pakistan a couple years back when there were too many drone strikes. And as a result of too many drone strikes, that was creating an upswelling among the Pakistani people against the United States.
Do you believe Pakistan has the capability to go after terrorists alone without the help from the United States?
Well, it is going after terrorists at the current time because the peace talks between the Taliban and Pakistan and a Pakistani government broken down. And the Pakistani government has decided that it has to root out these terrorists, or in fact, they will spread to other parts of the country. So the United States is in fact helping them in this regard, going after them.
Tom, do you have any concerns about the risk of retaliation? Certainly the U.S. can't control what other countries get a hold of, whether they can get a hold of this type of technology. Are you concerned?
Well, I am, but I think that cat is already out of the bag, that other countries are going to start to use drones on their own. And other countries are buying drones from various countries around the world, and it will become a factor. I think people have to realize, people who write reports inside the United States Capitol's Beltway, that war is a dialectical process, and that if one factor comes along, subsequently there'll be another factor against it. For example, historically, back 500, 600, 700, 800 years ago, the mounted knight, the armored knight, reigned supreme. But then along came the crossbow. Well, the crossbow was an effective weapon to take down an armored knight. So some people tried to outlaw the use of the crossbow. Well, that's not going to happen. War is a dialectical process. As weapons get perfected, there will be other counter weapons. So I think the drone is here, and we have to think about the next counter-drone policy the United States and other countries will use.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thomas Henriksen from Hoover Institution.